Okay, welcome. And this evening we've had another theme request, which is brilliant. I love it when I get theme requests. It gets my creativity popping. So we've got heart and shoulders and arms, which I think is a really good theme because there's something we can explore in our bodies, which is the connectivity through the arms and through the chest and the heart space, and this pericardium is the encasing of the heart, and it's facially really connected to the arms and the hands and the fingers. So it's a good one, and we can try and feel in those bodies that connection. So we'll do a lot of shoulder opening and heart opening, but I was thinking to not forget the back of the heart as well. So when we think of heart opening, we tend to go into the back bends, but I always like to include the balance in the practice. So in this case, not forgetting to open the muscles behind the heart. So often we get very tight and congested in those muscles around those ones underneath the shoulder blades get very tight. So this is our kind of area of focus. So let's start lying down, but on a block. I'll just let Linda join. Hey, Linda, nice to see you. Welcome. So good to see you. When you've got a moment, Linda, just mute yourself. But yeah, in your own time. We are just getting going. Really good to see you. We're doing a focus on the heart and the chest and the arms and the shoulders. So we're going to start lying down. And if you've got a yoga block, ideally one that's more like a brick than a flat block, something firm and solid. If you don't have a yoga brick, you could use a bolster or pillow or anything. We're going to open the space behind the heart first, or use the back of the heart to open the front of the heart. So if you're using a bolster or pillow, it's coming lengthwise down your spine and you're laying up the bolster, connecting to the sacrum. But my favorite version here would be the brick. So we place the brick, I'm sure you all know, but just in case people joining later, we want the upper rim of the block kind of nestled beneath the lower rim of the shoulder blades, lengthwise, crossways across the back. So it can take a little while to find the right spot. I tend to lay myself down on the block, wriggle a bit. Well, once my head's on the floor, wriggle a bit so I can actually feel the bony edge of my shoulder blades kind of nestling into the top of the block. And legs can be in any position. When we come straight into this shape, like the first shape of the class, it can feel really quite awkward, quite uncomfortable. This is normal. Your body might protest a little bit, more of a confused protest than pain, hopefully. If there's obviously pain, skip this, just lie on the floor without the block. But a kind of a confusion of the body could manifest as like a tightening, a resistance of the muscles in the back that are connecting with the block. So we just accept that that's just normal. And then we just kind of reassure the body by slowing down the breath, by relaxing the face, that actually it's okay. It just feels a bit strange. And just see if you can feel an incremental softening of the skin, of the muscles that are contacting the block here, or the bolster. It's more intense with the block, the brick. And notice also another manifestation of the body's resistance could be compromised breath. So you might find that when we place the block in this way at the beginning of the class, there might be a kind of tendency to shallow breathe. But instead, again, just reassuring the body by cultivating deeper breaths. And notice as you breathe in and your rib cage expands, we press into the block more. That sense of connection increases. And then there's like a chance to soften a little bit more as we exhale. And the rib cage contracts again. As the rib cage contracts each time, just feel an incremental softening, releasing of the muscles on the back. We're going to just stay maybe another half a minute. If you're happy where you are, or it's enough where you are, just stay where you are. But if you feel you could take a little bit more intensity, you could take your arms overhead here and just expand and open the thoracic area a little bit more. And also it will change how the back presses into the block. Reaching the arms back, you could be quite dynamic, stretching them back quite dynamically, or you could just soften at the elbows and drape the arms back behind you with bent elbows. Just feel what feels like the best release. And this is bringing our awareness right into our focus area. So we're pressing into the back of the heart space. And this shape is opening the front of the heart space, the chest, the sternum. Just really deepen the breath for the last few breaths, bringing the breath all the way up into the upper chest, kind of kissing the collarbones at the top of the inhale with the breath. The ribs expand, the lungs expand. And then if your arms are overhead, if you've been quite passive, just for the last breath or two, just dynamically stretch the arms back, palms facing each other. You'll feel the muscles in the back activate here. And then at full stretch in the arms, just sweep, you can turn the palms down now and just sweep the arms out to the side, or palms up, whatever feels more comfortable, so that the arms are extending out along from the shoulders. Just really reach in opposite directions through your fingers. Spread the fingers dynamically, actively, and just feel a connection between the left fingertips and the right fingertips, that they're somehow connected by a thread, which they are, fascia. And this fascia runs almost, well, it does run through the actual heart, but it definitely very strongly runs through the pericardium, which encases the heart, but also it runs through the heart itself. So the arms and the heart are directly linked. So if you can perceive that in your body, just exploring. You may feel it because you feel the stretch in your arms, but you also feel it in your chest. And then just allow the hands to just sweep back down towards the sides. We're going to just very gently peel ourselves off the block. So just roll to one side just enough so that you can remove the block or the bolster and come to lie back down again. And just come to a neutral back. So just keep the knees bent and just take a few kind of deep breaths. It will feel quite a relief probably. Just this relief feeling of the spine coming back to its neutral shape and the breath being uncompromised by a weird pokey thing sticking into the back of the rib cage. So just enjoy a kind of normalization. And it feels such a relief because we've been pressing into the least mobile part of the spine, where there's the most, mechanically the most resistance. And then take the arms out to the side again, palms down, or you could take the cactus arm. So we've got that bend at the elbow, 90 degrees with the palms up. So either palms down, straight arms, or 90-degree angle. Palms up, lifting the feet off the floor, squeezing the inner thighs together. We're going to exhale the knees over towards the right, keeping the left shoulder blade down. This is the key focus here, the upper back. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, take the knees over to the left. Really focus on keeping your right shoulder blade, if possible, elbow to the floor. Just keep that going. Inhaling, knees to the center. Exhaling over to the other side. Focusing on your upper back, especially the shoulder blades, connecting to the floor as best you can. So even if you don't take the knees as far, but you retain that bone connection, that connection of the shoulder blades, the scapula on the floor. That's what we're looking for. And then next time you come back to the center from the left, just pause, give yourself a hug the knees into the chest. Maybe there's a little rocking motion or circling on the sacrum that wants to happen here, or maybe just stillness. And then we're going to come to seated, so just rolling to one side, pressing yourself up. And sit in any comfortable position. We're going to be focusing more on the upper body, so you can kneel, you can sit on a block, whatever you need, sit on a bolster. So again, we're going to come to that pericardium stretch. So reaching the hands out either side, stretch, and this is important, be dynamic in the fingers, like as widespread as possible, active. And reach, reach, reach. Again, see if you can feel that as you reach more with your right fingertips, the left fingertips reach as much. Draw your lower belly in so we're not overarching the back and we're connecting to our deep core here. And then see if you can perceive it. Just close your eyes, go inwards and see if you can imagine that this is also stretching the encasement of the heart itself, the heart space. And then exhale, bring the left arm on top of the right, either hug opposite shoulder, drawing the chin to the chest, or take your Garudasana wrap here, wrapping the forearms and the hands. You could have the backs of the hands together, eventually the palms. And feel free to take a few breaths in the first position and then open up to Garudasana. So again, we're kind of working more with the back of the heart here, pressing the hands away from the face, elbows in line with the shoulders, breathing into that space behind the heart. Opening up the congestion from inside through our breath. As you inhale, the space between the shoulder blades increases. If you can feel that. And then exhale, release, open the hands wide once again. You may even feel that you can get the hands behind you slightly. This is going to open the front of the chest and then bring them back to just in alignment with the shoulders. And this is more where we feel that kind of fascia connection. And then on an exhale, bring the right arm on top of the left and come into the first position and stay there if you wish, or stay there for a few breaths and then transition, or straight away coming into Garudasana. See if you can keep lifting the elbows in line with the shoulders. Try not to let the hands collapse towards the face. And again, just close your eyes, maybe if it helps, and just feel what's happening between the shoulder blades as you breathe. They're drawing apart as you inhale and moving towards each other as you exhale. How deeply can you inhale here? And then release, and just if you need to just move the shoulders and the neck around a little bit after that, then do. And then we're going to interlace the hands behind the back, knuckles pointing away, stretch, open that upper chest, the heart space, looking up slightly. It's okay if we get that little arch in the lower back here, it's kind of a back bend. And then bending the elbows, take the bend out of the lower back, so draw the lower belly in, and bring the hands to the left side if available. So if this doesn't work for you, you can just stay, you can just bring the fingertips to the floor actually. But otherwise, we've got the back of the right hand against the left waist, and we're squeezing the left elbow towards the right elbow. And then we are dropping the left ear to the left shoulder. So if this doesn't work for you, you could just have the fingertips on the floor, but dropping the left ear to the left shoulder, stretching the right side of the neck. So if we're working with arms and shoulders, we've got to work with the neck really. And breathe deep. And then release that squeeze and take the hands behind you again. Swap the bind. So have the other little finger on the outside and inhale, lift up. Opening the chest, coming into the back bend, if it naturally happens, lifting the chin, and then bending the elbows, drawing the lower belly in again, bringing the back of the left hand to touch the right waist, so the hands are still bound, squeeze the right elbow towards the left, or again, just release, and drop the right ear to the right shoulder now. Release. And just again, if you need to move after the neck, work too. And we'll just do one more thing for the neck. We'll just drop the chin to the chest, and we're going to roll the chin along the collarbone to the left. And we're doing like a quarter circle. We want to go all the way up to kind of the top corner of the room, and then exhale, rolling it back down. And then inhale, roll it along the right collarbone. So you kind of, first of all, look to the side, and then you continue a bit further till you're looking up to kind of the corner of the circle and roll it back down. Just do that a couple more times each side, feeling how we're stretching into interesting muscles in the side of the neck, the scalenes and other important muscles that get very tight. It's like a nice back and forth kind of glossing or flossing rather of the neck here. And then the next time you come up to the left, you can complete the circle with painting a circle with the chin, go really slow. And just do a couple of full circles in each direction. And just keep your awareness in the muscles of the neck that are all being kind of worked and stretched as you go through the degrees of the circle. Don't forget to change direction. Couple in each direction. And this is such a simple thing. If we did this every day, like cleaning our teeth, we would retain the mobility in our neck for longevity much more easily. And then when you've done, just come back to the center and just breathe that through. Just come to stillness. Feel maybe interesting releasing feelings around the neck, the shoulders, the heart. And then while we're here, let's just not forget the sides of the heart. So taking the left hand out, inhale, stretch up through the right side and exhale, leaning over. Breathing into the right side. Inhale to come up. And bring the right hand down. On your next inhale, stretch up through the left. Exhale, coming over to the right. Buttocks on the floor. And inhale, coming up again. Find your way onto your hands and knees. And let's cat-cow, but before we go into the full cat-cow, we'll try to do the mini ones that I find really difficult, but really interesting, where we just try to cat-cow in the upper back, so around the space of the heart. So it's very subtle. There's a subtle kind of dropping of the upper chest. We're trying to not move the lower body. So it's like you sag and the shoulder blades poke up. And then you press through the hands and you dome the upper back again without moving the lower back. And just see if you can coordinate with this breath, inhaling to drop the chest or the space behind the heart. So you should, if you could feel, if somebody else was to feel, they'd feel your shoulder blades poking up. And then the opposite, we dome the upper back and the shoulder blades become flush. So just explore that. We're probably going to move the lower back a little bit, but we're really trying to isolate the movement into the upper back and target some muscles that don't often get a lot of focus, which is why they get so stuck. So it's really all about the scapula. We're kind of feeling the scapula, the shoulder blades poke up and then not poke up. Okay, and then it's probably quite frustrating to see if we can then just enjoy some full cat-cow, starting with the lower back, but really completing with the upper back, really feeling maybe after that focus, we can feel more that we're getting into the upper back, feel what that feels like, having targeted it. Because it's always harder to get the movement, to get the wave to travel in the upper back. Just mechanically, it's less mobile, but we want to kind of get the most mobility we can out of this upper back. And then at the end of your next exhale, just pausing, and we'll take Anahatasana, of course. So keep the hips over the knees, walk the hands out, drop the chin or the forehead to the floor, or use a block and soften the front body. Now I know for some people this is really intense, too intense around the armpits and shoulders, so you can be more active, lift the elbows if that's the case for you. Otherwise, we're melting the chest down. And then pressing through the hands, lifting the head. Just stay with the hips over the knees and just walk the hands over to the left. And maybe see if you can put the right hand on top of the left hand. If that's too much, just put it next to it. As we drop the head between the upper arms, or rest the head on the right arm, and again we soften and we melt. In this variation, you might want to bring the hands ever so slightly back to you, because it's really helpful to have the buttocks ever so slightly behind the knees here. Definitely not in front of the knees. In Anahatasana, they're directly above the knees, but here it can help to just feel the weight of the heavy pelvis kind of pulling back a little bit to increase the stretch down the right side. Pretty intense posture, the shoulders, the arms. Press through the hands, come back through the center, staying low. Walk the hands over to the right, bring the left hand close to the right hand, or maybe on top. Drop the chest down towards the floor, rest the forehead. My head kind of just slots between the upper arms, or maybe rests more on the left arm. And again, we want to feel like we've got this counterweight of the pelvis, kind of tractioning the spine, pulling back as much as we're reaching forward through the hands. You should feel this down the left side of the heart, the arms, the shoulders, even down towards the waist and the hip. Breathing deep. And then pressing through the hands, lifting the head, walking the hands back in, and come bringing them just in front of the shoulders. And after all that opening, let's just take a really stable downward dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips, pressing back, and just really feeling the integrity and strength of this posture to counter that kind of more melty feeling. So we want to draw the lower belly up to the spine and really secure this at the core, at the center. We want to be super active in the arms and the legs, drawing up on the kneecaps if the legs are straight, pressing actively through the hands, the fingers, the knuckles, the toes, and looking back towards the feet, or even the navel, to increase that feeling of strength here. And at the end of your exhale, look forward, step or walk the feet to the hands, hip distance apart. Inhale and look up. You might want to bring the hands onto the shins here. And again, we're looking for the subtlety. So bend the knees if you need here. We're looking for the subtlety of opening. It's almost a back bend here. We want to be drawing the shoulders back, opening the space behind the heart, sorry, working the muscles in the space behind the heart and opening the chest. And then exhale, just pouring the weight forward, letting the crown of the head drop, folding towards the shins. Bring the hands onto the lower back, interlace the fingers, bring those arms up and over. Checking the weight distribution on the feet. If this is too much for your shoulders, just do a straightforward forward fold with the arms dangling instead. And then, if you can, just swap the bind of the hands whilst you're upside down and hold for another 2 or 3 or 4 breaths, and feel how it changes the stretches in the shoulders when we change the bind. And then bringing the hands to the lower back, bringing the hands to the hips, bending the knees, pressing through the legs to come up to stand. Come to stand at the front of your mat, and we're going to flow. And we're going to do a shoulder open and a heart opening on each round. So I'll add little things in. So standing in Tadasana at the front of the mat, and just draw the shoulders up, back, and down. It's like 3 points of the 4 directions. And then interlace the fingers, press the knuckles down. Feel that as we press the knuckles down towards the floor, it draws the shoulder blades even tighter together and down, drawing the lower belly in to counter this. Check you're not overarching the spine. Be strong in the legs, be open and active in the feet. Releasing the hands to the side, chest nice and open. And then on your next inhale, raise the hands and look up. And exhale, forward fold, dropping the head. Inhale, look up, lengthen, feel this is that back bend. Exhale, step the left foot back and bend the right knee. And we're going to inhale straight up to the high lunge. So I know this is a tricky transition. And we're going to find that bind again, interlacing the hands behind the back. And inhale, lift the chest, lift the hands away from the back and look up slightly. Really firm the back leg, squeeze the left buttock, draw the tailbone under to stretch the left hip flexor. And then spin the back foot. So we've now got the sole of the back foot on the floor, toes in front of the heel, heel in, toes out, and just bring the hips around to face forward again. And exhale, coming into humble warrior. So we bow the head to the inside of the front leg and we bring the hands up and maybe forward, depending how open we are. Strong in the thighs, this one, but really opening for this upper body focus. And then inhale, look forward. So it's like you're laying your torso along your thigh now. Stretch the crown of the head forward, stretch the knuckles back, and then exhale, release the hands down. Come onto the ball of the back foot, come straight to downward dog or child's pose or plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. And just again, find that integral feeling to the downward dog. Strength, stability, foundations, coming back to center, back to base, back to breath. And at the end of your exhale, look forward and step or bring the left foot between the hands, staying on the ball of the back foot, and then bring yourself up to the high lunge. It might take a couple of goes to get there. We're on the ball of the back foot still. We're bending the left knee. We're squeezing the left buttock. And then we're bringing the hands behind us, interlacing the fingers, if possible, with the other little finger on the outside, if you can remember. Lifting up, opening the chest, looking up. It's actually a good sign if we don't know which way we've done the bind before. That means we're probably swapping them regularly rather than always doing the same. And then spin the back foot. So come onto the sole of the back foot with the toes pointing out, heel in. Probably the right hip's going to twist to the right. See if you can bring it back round to the center. And then exhale, come forward. Humble warrior, the head towards the inside of the left leg. Arms up, maybe over. And then look, bringing the head up. So again, it's like we're laying the torso along the thigh, although we're not just dumping the weight there. And the crown of the head's reaching forward, the knuckles reaching back. And then exhale to release the hands. Move through a vinyasa if you wish, or rest in child's pose or downward dog. Find the strength in downward dog if you're choosing that posture. A couple of breaths. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise the hands above the head. Look up. Exhale, Tadasana. Okay, so we've got a couple more rounds. So inhaling up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. This time, exhale, step the right foot back first. Spin the back foot, bend the front leg, and inhale your way up to warrior two. So we're going to be facing the long edge of the mat. The hips are open to the long edge of the mat. Check your left knee is above or behind your left ankle. And then from here, we're going to take a bound version. I should have said, if you've got a strap handy, you may need it here, but if you don't, and it's too much of a hassle to get it, you can do it without. But if you know you've got tight shoulders, we're going to bring the left arm close to the ear and drop the fingertips down the spine. And then we're going to bring the right elbow close to the body and wriggle the fingertips up the spine. Hold the material of your top, maybe find the bind or use a strap. Still in warrior two, legs. Option to lean back here, opening the side body, but keeping the chest to face forward, face the long edge of your mat with the chest, no twist. Inhale, come back, releasing the arms back to warrior two. And then one more, we're going to bring the right arm around, right hand around, and maybe find the left thigh and reach the left hand back for reverse warrior. This is too much for you, just have the right hand on the right leg as usual as a kind of support, but otherwise the half bound or the bound version of reverse warrior. And then inhale, come up, turn to the front, place the palms down, downward dog, child's pose, or vinyasa. And then take a couple of breaths between sides, looking back up to the navel or the feet if you're in Downward dog, feel strength in the back and the core. And then turn the left foot in, so heel in, toes out, step or walk or bring that right foot forward and inhale your way up to warrior two on the other side. Having the strap, having the strap in your right hand as you come up if you think you might need it. Just taking classic warrior two for a moment, checking in with that right knee. And then bring the right arm close to the ear, drop the fingertips down the spine, wriggle the left fingertips up the spine. The secret of this one is having the elbow close to the side body, and then maybe leaning back. Keeping the bend on the front leg if you can. I know it's a strong stretch. Modify if you need, less of a bend. Inhale, come up. If you've only just got yourself into the posture, give yourself a couple of breaths. And reaching back into warrior two. And then bring the left hand around the back. This might not work for all of you. You may find your right thigh with your left hand. And then we come into reverse warrior, reaching back with the right hand. It's all too much. Just classic reverse warrior with the left hand on the left leg. And deep breaths. Inhale, coming back up. Turn to the front. Exhale, planting the hands straight to downward dog or child's pose, or again, the vinyasa here with the breath. Dropping into child's pose, or again, a strong, solid downward dog. And at the end of your exhale, look forward, walk, step, maybe jump, bring the feet to the hands. Inhale, look up, find that back bend, so maybe bringing the hands onto the shins, and then exhale, pouring the weight forward, feeling the space behind the heart open as you do. Inhale, raising the hands, palms touch above the head. Exhale, hands to the side. Well done. We've got two more rounds, actually, because we're starting on left and right legs, so we've got to be even. Okay, so third round, inhale, taking it up. Exhale, actually, exhale back to Tadasana. For these last two, we're going to start with Utkatasana. So bending the knees and dropping the fingertips towards the mat. And then keep the hips low as you inhale, take the hands up. And we're going to just stay for a couple of breaths here, because this is really good for opening the shoulders, the arms, the upper chest, the back. And then exhale, take the hands to the floor, lift the hips, folding in. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, step the right foot back, not too far, and just look at your heels. So your right toes are in front of your heel. Your heels are either in line, or you walk the left foot a foot's width to the left to help bring the right hip forward. And then we're actually going to take a little bend into the left leg and inhale our way up here. And if it's available, we're going to bring the hands into reverse prayer. Or we're going to hold the opposite elbow, rolling the shoulders back, or whatever you can hold. Wrist, forearm. You can even hold a strap if that's better for you. Okay, so find your position here. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, folding forward over that front leg. We're trying to keep the hips square to the front. If your hands are in reverse prayer, really try to keep the base of the palms pressing towards each other, rolling the shoulders back, whatever variation you're in here. And then just slide your hands to your lower back, interlace the fingers, this is a common motif, and fold over that front leg, bringing the hands up and over. If this feels too much in your lower back, feel free to have your hands on the floor or your shin or blocks. And then bending that left leg, inhale, coming all the way up, leading with the hands. And then exhale, plant the hands down, step back to downward dog, or the vinyasa, exhale to lower, inhale up, exhale, downward dog. Taking a couple of breaths. And at the end of your exhale, look forward, walk, step or bring, coming through kneeling, bring the right foot between the hands, and we need to step the back foot in. It's not a wide stance here, there's not too much space between the heels. Check that your left toes are in front of your left heel and the hips are facing forward. If you struggle to bring the hips forward, move the right foot slightly to the right, and then inhale, coming up, probably with a micro bend on that front leg. Refind the same position as before. Maybe it's reverse prayer, holding opposite elbow or wrist or whatever. Inhale, lift up. If you're in reverse prayer, you can use your little fingers to press into the space behind the heart, a bit like we did with the block. And then exhale, fold forward. Notice how as you fold forward, the space behind the heart comes more into the domed version, like the cat rather than the cow. Keep pressing the heel of the hands together, lifting the elbows, drawing the shoulders back for those in reverse prayer. And then slide the hands to the lower back. If you can do the opposite little finger, great. Really connect your core here as you bring the hands up and over. And if you just feel too unstable in your lower back and core to do this, just modify, have hands on blocks or shin or floor. And then bringing the hands to the lower back. This time we'll just plant the hands straight down from here, walking the feet back, either straight to downward dog or into plank or tabletop. Exhale to lower. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, downward dog. And just take, again, 2 or 3 just breaths to feel the solidity, the foundations of your hands and feet. And at the end of your exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands, reach and stretch, and exhale, hands to the side. Okay, one last round. And again, we're going to start in Utkatasana. So bend the knees, sink the hands towards the floor. And we want to aim to not lift the hips. We probably will, but as best we can, try not to lift the hips as you then sweep the hands up, draw the tailbone and under, weight in the heels, and then dynamically stretch up through the fingertips, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. It might be that your hands are more in front of you than above. That's fine. Just go with your pain-free range of movement here, looking up to the fingertips wherever they are. And then exhale, take the hands down, lift the hips, folding in. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, we're stepping the left foot back. Nice wide stance. And we're just going to pivot. Keep the hands on the floor and pivot to the left. So we end up facing the long edge of the mat. We've got the outer edges of the feet parallel. And we're going to exhale, take a forward fold here. Releasing the crown of the head towards the floor. And then we're just going to do a variation here. We'll do a different variation on the other side. Keeping the hips where they are, in line with the ankles. We'll walk the hands forward, straight forward in front of the shoulders and drop the head between the upper arms. So it's like your upper body's in downward dog, but your legs are still in Prasarita Padottanasana, the wide leg forward fold. So we're not bringing the hips forward. And just, it's like traction again. It's like you could even have the hips slightly behind the heels to again feel that weight pulling you back as your fingertips creep forward and we stretch the spine. Have a sense of broadening your upper back here, breathing into the side body, the armpits, the space between the shoulder blades as you inhale, everything expanding and broadening. And then exhale, walking the hands back in. We're going to pivot to the front, plant the hands either side of the front foot, take downward dog or child's pose, or plank or tabletop for the last time to exhale, lower, inhale up, exhale, downward dog. Take a couple of breaths. And then at the end of your exhale, step the left foot forward or bring it forward. Stay low, pivot to the other side of your mat, the long edge of your mat. Make sure the outer edges of the feet are parallel. Again, just start with the forward fold here. And we're going to take a different variation. So we're going to walk the hands over towards the left foot. We're going to take our right hand and hold the outside of the left leg with the right hand. And that might be above the knee for you. It might be below the knee. It might be the ankle or the foot. And then we're going to walk the left foot, left fingers straight ahead in front of the shoulder as far as they'll go. Again, feeling that tractioning. And then we use our right hand to pull on the outside of the left leg to twist in the spine and look up underneath our left armpit. This doesn't make sense or doesn't work for you, skip it. You could just have both hands holding the left leg and do a side fold. Draw the navel in. And then untwist, release the right hand, bring the left hand back in, walk over to the right side. And so we're facing the right foot, and then we bring the left hand to the outside of the right leg or ankle or foot. And we walk the right fingertip straight out in front of the right shoulder as far as we can, whilst again pushing the hips in the opposite direction. And we pull on the outside of the right leg to facilitate this twist through the spine. And we end up, hopefully, looking up to the ceiling or somewhere around underneath our right armpit. Again, if this does not work, just holding the ankle or the leg with both hands and folding in towards that right leg. And then untwisting, releasing the left hand, bringing the right hand back in. Pivot back to the front of the mat, planting the hands either side of the left foot, straight to downward dog or child's pose, or the last time, I think I said that last time, sorry, vinyasa here with the breath. Finding stability, downward dog. And at the end of that exhale, we're actually just going to bring the knees down and sink the hips onto the heels and take a child's pose. And I would recommend full balasana, taking the hands back to the feet with the palms up, resting the head on the floor or a block, and just really opening the back of the heart, letting the shoulders collapse forward completely. Okay, well done. Good long-standing sequence. So from here, we're just going to lift the head, slide the hands forward and come down onto our belly. So you could have the shoulders over the wrists and press the floor away as you lower down. You could do a plank if you wished, but we're coming onto our bellies. And we're just going to slide the elbows forward and come straight into the Sphinx here. So elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms parallel, pelvis on the floor, and really activate. We should be more aware of these muscles perhaps than usual because we've really been honing in on them. We want to activate the muscles that draw the shoulder blades together and down the spine. And at the same time, we're pressing the pubic bone into the mat. And even here, we can connect to our deep core muscles by pressing that pubic bone down, releasing the buttocks, pressing the tops of the feet down slightly to engage the legs, and feeling the neck grow long, feeling the sides of the neck long as the shoulders slide down with this activation of the muscles behind the scapula. The shoulders draw down away from the ears and the neck feels more free. Working the back. And then exhale, coming down. Just take the elbows wide, take the forehead onto the back of the hands, just maybe wobbling the hips, releasing. We're just going to do a locust, but we'll do the locust. We'll do a couple of variations of locust. Okay, so the first one is probably quite challenging, the more challenging. We'll get that one out of the way first. So if possible, if you've got a brick handy, a yoga brick, or a block, but again, this brick is better. We're going to extend the arms forward and press the hands either side of the brick on its long edges and drop the forehead towards the floor. So pressing down through the pubic bone, we're going to lift the navel up to the spine and then inhale, lift the hands, lift the feet, keep the gaze to the floor between the upper arms. And really, it's like you're trying to stretch the block forward, like you're trying to give it to somebody and stretch the toes back. So we're really working the hands, we're pressing the hands into the block, we're working the arms, we're working the shoulders, we're working the back, we're opening the chest and exhale lower. Turn the cheek to the side, bring the hands to the side, let the shoulders flop forward, so bring the hands all the way back. Palms up, you're probably going to feel that right in this target area in the upper back. We will stretch that in a moment, don't worry. Okay, so one more, very different this one, in some ways easier, or more about the flexibility than the strength, but still strong. Okay, so bringing the forehead to the floor again. This one we interlace the hands on the lower back. This bind that we've been doing through the class. We inhale, lift everything up, and we're trying to lift the hands up away from the back and stretch the knuckles to the back wall, keeping the neck long, the crown of the head forward, so we're gazing at the floor, we're not looking forward. Breathing as deeply as you can, feeling this more as an opening across the front of the shoulders maybe. Exhale, release. Hands flop by the sides, turn the other cheek to the side. And just really soften and release and breathe into that upper back. And then from here, we're going to need our yoga brick again. If you don't have a brick, use anything, a book, just something. We're going to rest the forehead on this. So, is it the forehead? Hang on, it's been a while since I did this. We're just going to, here, sorry. Okay, it's actually underneath the rib cage. So we've got our block. We're pressing against the widest part of the rib cage. So where's that? It's kind of just around the sternum, just below the sternum. Feel like the widest part of the rib cage is pressing into the block. This is just to make the stretch a bit less intense. So we're going to cross, we're going to have the hands in front of us and we're going to cross the left arm's in front of the right. And we're going to have the palms up and walk the left hand over to the right and the right hand over to the left as far as we can. It's like we're threading, keeping the upper arms close to each other and right underneath your chest. And then we just drop the head. So your chin's kind of just draping over your arms. Okay, if you need or you have something to support the forehead here, I think that's why I was getting confused, because you can also use a block under your forehead here. Then use another block for that. So what you should feel here is strong stretches around the outer arms and the shoulders, but also into this upper back area that we've just been working. And then lifting the gaze, just walking the elbows back towards each other. Obviously, we have to go the other way. If you're really not enjoying the block in the ribs, you could bring it forward, do it without, and support the head instead, but it will be more of an intense stretch, okay? So the block is there to just make it less intense. So right arm is in front now. We're walking the hands over to the other side. We're dropping the head. You want to make sure the upper arms are kind of underneath the chest area. Breathing into the upper back, outer shoulders. Slowing the breath down. Like at the start, it's uncomfortable, but hopefully there's no big pain. If there is, skip this one. But just breathing into the resistance of the confused body that's not used to doing this. Slow, deep breaths. And then lifting the head, walking the elbows back towards each other, unraveling from that. And then press yourself back up and coming to a wide knee to child's pose. So again, we want to just really open up the back, keeping the fingertips spreading forward, but take a bend into the elbow. So we're not being super active in the upper back here. We're just going to bend the elbows, maybe hold the opposite elbow or wrists, or just have the hands on the floor and drop the head towards the floor. So we've got this real feeling of broadness in the upper back again. And breathe into the back, breathe into the shoulders, breathe into the arms. Melt the heart towards the floor. And pressing through the hands, bringing yourself back up, bringing the knees together, sitting yourself down. I'm going to take some seated postures. So we'll do Janu Shirshasana and then we'll come into Parivriti Janu Shirshasana. So we've got our left leg extended and the sole of our right foot to the inner left thigh. So we will come forward first. So inhale, stretch up. Exhale, take that forward fold. Dropping the head, really dropping the head so you're almost looking back towards your navel so that we really open up into the upper back here. Find that stretch into the back of the neck, base of the skull, upper back, shoulders. Keeping left leg alive and active, right foot active. Inhale, come up. We'll do both twists because this is great for releasing this target area. So bring your left hand behind you, right hand to the outside of the left leg or possibly foot. Maybe bringing the left hand all the way around to find the right thigh, looking over your left shoulder. So the spine's more or less upright here, maybe slightly forward. So we're bringing out the muscles around the spine. Draw the lower belly in. Breathe deep. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist the other way. So now left hands to the inside of the left leg or foot, right hands on the floor, or reaching around for the left thigh. Lower belly's drawing in. Again, the spine is focusing more on being towards upright than coming forward here. Both feet flexed. And then unwind. So well, let's actually do the full sequence here because it's a nice heart opener. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat behind you, with a gap between the buttocks and the hand. Push into the hand, lift the hip, so it's pushing through right hand and right knee to lift up and reach the left hand back, and then turn the chest up towards the ceiling. So we're lifting the space behind the heart, turning this into a little bit of a back bend as well as a side stretch. Exhale, lowering the hips and kind of spiraling forward that left arm until we're facing the left leg. Already that's a big freeing posture for this area, but we're just going to take that a bit further. So if you know you're very open, you can bring your left elbow to the inside of the left knee and palm up. You hold that big toe edge of your foot for this next posture, otherwise left hand on left leg. And then we revolve Parivriti. So we bring kind of left rib cage up, press right rib cage back. So we're revolving to open the chest to the ceiling first, and then we're extending up through that right hand. So there's a sense of opening, revolving the torso up to face the ceiling. Okay. And then if there's more space for us, we can start to lean that right, stretch that right hand towards the left foot. So there's a bit of a side stretch here as well. Those of you with the elbow on the floor are quite deep into this. You may even find your left foot with your right and left hand one day. Otherwise, don't go for that at the expense of closing the chest down. So if you can only get the foot by really closing the chest, and you can't open it again afterwards, then just don't worry about the foot. Just stretch. Okay, looking down to the floor. So we unrevolve first, look down to the floor, close the chest down, and then slowly bring the hands in and just take a big breath. Feel that freedom we've created, and we'll go to the other side. So bringing the left sole of the foot into the left inner thigh. Starting with opening the back of the heart. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward. And again, really drop the head. So chin towards the chest here, looking back towards the navel even, maybe, depending where our position is. But you want to feel the stretch, which this posture stretches the whole of the back body on the right side. So see if you can feel the stretch in the upper back, the neck, the shoulders. And then inhale, coming up. Exhale into the closed twist, so left hand to the outside of the right leg or foot, right hand behind you or reaching around, or the left thigh if you want to move more into the shoulders and arms, but don't force that. We can still be drawing that right shoulder back actively. And then inhale to unwind. And exhale, come straight into the twist on the other side, bringing the right hand to the inside of right leg or foot, left hand on the floor, or reaching for right thigh, lower belly drawing in, wringing the spine out like a towel here, squeezing around the axis of the spine. Deep breaths. And then inhaling again back to the center. And then we're going to take the left hand behind you with a space between buttocks and the hand, and then press through the left foot and the left hand. So you lift the hips, reach the right hand back, and again, it's like we want to turn this into more of a back bend. So we open the chest towards the ceiling and we lift the space behind the heart. We activate those muscles that we've been focusing on. And then exhale, lowering the hips, sweeping that right hand forward, spiraling back to the center. Take a breath, and then Paraviti. So right hand on right leg, or again, the elbow to the inside of the knee, palm up, holding the foot. Find the revolving, find the Paraviti. This is the key to this posture. I often actually use my hands, lifting right ribs, pressing left ribs back. So I'm opening my chest to the ceiling as best I can, and only then do I extend that left arm. So ideally you want to have that left arm kind of behind your face, so the chest is open. And then again, if there's more space, possibly we start to lean that left arm towards the right, but not closing the chest down. So if we go so far that we have to close the chest down, just come back. There's nowhere to go here. There's no destination. That's just the opening. Breathe and deep breaths and presence. Beautiful. And then closing the chest down, looking to the floor, releasing that left hand down, and then coming back up. And just take a moment. Just check the time. Wow. Okay, so let's come down onto our backs and explore this with some back bend focus. So let's just start with a couple of passive back bends and then move into Setu Bandhasana and possibly the wheel. This would be a good class to focus on your wheel if you're working towards that, because we've really opened the upper back. So first of all, passive, we're going to just take the block on any of its three heights underneath the lower, the sacrum, right at the base of the spine. And we're just kind of giving our back a bit of a rest here, so we don't have to do the work yet. So just see if you can find that softness of, again, like at the start of the class, just giving your body, softening the body into the support. If it feels like there's bony vertebra pressing the block, then it's too high. It should feel comfortable if we get the block to meet the sacrum, just above the buttocks. And just relax, release for a moment. Soften the belly. And then just reach the right arm overhead and slide the right heel forward. So we're at full extension down the right side. And then lift the left knee, not using the hand, and draw the left knee towards you with the knee bent. So, you know, as if we were going to hug the knee into the chest, but we're not. We're just going to work the left psoas and stretch the right psoas here. And just breathe into that for a moment. We need to release the psoas for the wheel, deeper back bends. We focused mostly on our upper body, just tending to the lower body for a moment, and then release that left foot down, slide the right heel in, bring the right hand back to the side, extend the left arm behind you, and slide the left heel forward with the toes pointing to the ceiling. So I forgot to say that on the other side, but we don't want to let the left leg externally rotate. We want to keep the toes directly up to the ceiling. Otherwise, we don't get to the psoas. And then we, again, it's like you're pressing down through the sacrum as you lift the right knee and use the strength of the right psoas and other hip flexor muscles to draw the knee towards the chest. But we want to stay level in the pelvis. So if we were to use our hands and bring it in deeper, we'd probably twist in the pelvis. But when we do it like this, you should hopefully feel quite level in the pelvis. If you don't, if you feel that right hip's hoiked up, and just press it back in line with the left hip, and the knee will come up probably a little bit, and that's fine.
Deep breath into that left psoas. And then exhale to release the right foot down, slide the left heel back, bring the left hand down. Bring the feet in so they're close to the buttocks. And then we're going to come straight into Setu Bandhasana. So just to prepare, before you come off your block, connect to your core so that we don't suddenly dump into our back. So connect to your core and squeeze the buttocks as you release the block, and then come into our supported bridge. So now we're just using the strength of our legs to lift the hips. And you might find you're deeper in this posture than usual. Instead of interlacing the hands behind us, we're going to bring the elbows down onto the floor and the hands pointing up to the ceiling, palms facing each other, as if we're a kind of robot, those kind of weird robot arms, and press the upper arms down to lift, and the elbows down to lift up through the hips. So we're working the muscles in the upper back here. You should feel the upper back working as we press the upper arms and elbows down. Legs strong. And then slowly relax the arms, slowly release the spine down from the upper back to the lower back. Moving the head back. And so I have got some variations for you. We're going to do at least 2 more of these. This is our peak. And you can just go to your, if this is enough, just repeat what we just did, or maybe interlace the hands underneath the back. But some of you might, because we've really opened this area, this is quite tricky, but some of you might get this. You may be able to reach both hands around the front of the left ankle. It's quite tricky. You have to lift the buttocks to get there. And once you've got that bind, then we lift up. It's a strange one. It might not, it's pretty tricky. It's tricky for me. I used to be able to do this more than I can now. So if it's too much, that's very normal. It's a very strong stretch on that left side. Then just do a regular one. And then lowering down. If you manage that one, then obviously we've got to do the other side. So reaching for the front or the back of the left ankle. It's better if you can get the front, because then you've got something to pull on as we lift up. It's too much, skip it. It's quite an advanced posture. Modify and release. So coming down, making sure the whole of the skin is on the back. Feet forward. Okay, and then we're going to do one more if you've got juice. If you've had enough, just rest or do repeat any of the ones we've just done. But otherwise, if you're working with wheel, I'm going to encourage you to come into wheel or wheel preparation. And if wheel is quite comfortable for you, I've got another option. Okay, so if you know what you're doing, just what you want to do, go for it. Otherwise, I'm just going to show you. You're either going to come to hands underneath the shoulders, elbows up, and then lifting onto the crown of the head and trying to bring the elbows in and pressing through the legs. I love this posture. But those who find wheel very easy could, at this point, walk the fingers forward, come onto the elbows and interlace the hands around the crown of the head. This is very, very strong opening around the shoulders, the armpits, the upper back, all the areas of the body we've focused on today. And it's amazing to do this and open that area and then press into your wheel, and you'll feel much freer than normal. So that's an invitation if you've got a strong wheel practice already. Otherwise, Setu Bandhasana, wheel prep. Don't force this just because I'm giving some more advanced versions today. Don't force. Okay, if you're on the crown of your head, really use the legs, and then you'll know if this is enough. Just stay here or push up into wheel. Only if your wheel is super comfortable would you try that final version. Okay, when you've completed your last back bend, slowly winding the spine down. Well done. And just rest, just make sure the whole of the skin of the back's on the floor. We've got the knees bent, the feet on the floor. Maybe we're in constructive rest with the inner knees touching, feet wide. But we're just pausing here for a moment to, again, after putting the spine into a compromise, an unusual shape, we're bringing it back to neutral, finding the relief in that, letting the heart rate settle, the nervous system settle. So really with the theme of shoulders, arms and heart, we have to peak with the wheel. It's really such a big challenge and about opening of those areas and how they work together. Relaxing. And then extending the legs up to the ceiling, extending the arms overhead, maybe interlacing the fingers and stretching back. And then bring the knees into the chest, bring the hands forward, give yourself a hug here. Maybe a little rock. Taking a happy baby, bringing the knees towards the armpits, taking hold of the outer edges of the feet. Maybe exploring Supta Upravishta, maybe one leg at a time, or both legs, where we explore straightening or moving towards straight of the legs. First one, then the other, maybe both. And if we find both legs straight or more or less, we can explore pressing the sacrum down into the mat to really open up that lower back after the compression. And then returning to happy baby, coming to Supta Baddha Konasana, so bringing the soles of the feet together, the knees wide, holding the outer edges of the feet, or maybe the ankles or shins. Breathing into the lower back. And then bringing the knees together again, really tightly squeezing everything in. So using your hands like a clamp, your forearms like a clamp. So you've got your interlacing the hands around the front of the shin and then squeezing the forearms into the outer legs and squeezing the head up towards the knees, squeezing the inner thighs together, bringing the energy in. And then release. Take a side twist. So bring the feet down, scoot the hips to the left. Exhale the knees to the right. Look over your left shoulder. You can extend the left arm away. Slowing the breath down. Inhale back to the center. Plant the feet. Scoot the hips over to the right a few centimeters. Knees over to the left. Look over your right shoulder. Coming back to the center. And options here, it might feel nice to do a shoulder stand after all this upper back opening. So shoulder stand is in your practice, or plow. Plow could be a really good one. Halasana, as I'm just showing here. So plow or shoulder stand, or if you don't really want to do a big inversion at this point, my alternative is to come forward into Paschimottanasana, the seated forward fold, and just really take a lovely long counter pose. So either seated forward fold or an inversion. Just because, well, it's always good to do an inversion, but also just because we've really prepped our body for shoulder stand today. So just notice how it feels compared to normal. Directing those legs up into the air if you're in shoulder stand, if you're in the plow, holding the back potentially if the feet don't touch down. Yeah. If the feet do touch down, then press down through the top of the feet to lift the knees away from the face. Feel there, Miriam. So now you can press down on the block and lift and then activate the legs. Yeah, beautiful. Don't force, but really finding that edge. You're in a forward fold, just softening the jaw, the face, the breath, really opening the back, the upper back.
Great. So if you want a few breaths longer, that's fine, but we've got 5 minutes left, so it'd be nice to have a 5-minute shavasana potentially. So slowly rolling back. If you've been in forward fold, just gently coming down to lie down. Those who've been up in shoulder stand, just do the fish for just a couple of breaths, 2 or 3 breaths, just holding the buttocks. And that last call to activate the space behind the heart, lift, drop the head back, open the throat, the mouth, or you can have the lips sealed, but the jaw is releasing. And then bringing the chin in, walking the elbows wide. And Shavasana. So if there's any tweaky feelings in the lower back, place a bolster under the knees or a blanket. Enjoy allowing your spine to just settle into its neutral curves here. We've put it through all kinds of different shapes this evening. So just giving it time, giving it space to settle. Might take a few breaths, a few minutes, because of all the work we've done to relax, release. Just inviting the softening of the muscles around the spine, the softening of the muscles around the shoulder blades, softening of the muscles in the arms, the shoulders, the chest. And relax. And as always, stay here longer if you wish. If you'd like to close at the end of the class with me, deepening the breath. Starting to move the body or stretch the body. And just gradually, gently return yourself to seated. So let's bring our hands together at our beautiful hearts that we've been opening this evening. Maybe bowing the head to the heart, just honoring yourself, your practice, your body, your heart. And just lifting the gaze, opening the eyes. Thank you all for practicing this evening. See you soon, but there's no class next week. I'm at my dad's 80th birthday party.